Alright, fourth grade. So the next step of your winter cardinal project is to get it all drawn and then outlined with a black marker. Now I just have a real minimal cardinal here. I didn't add any friends to him or any extra background items. What I wanted to show you today is how to add some color to your cardinal. Now if you're looking at a cardinal either in a photograph or in the one I have on the page, you might notice that the cardinal is not just one solid color. There's different shades, lighting. Some parts of the cardinal just have different colored feathers. They're different shades of red. So what you want to do is to get out your colored pencils and make sure that they are sharp. Mine aren't very sharp. What you want to do is to have a variety of different reds. So if you have like a red or red orange, you want to have a blue or a blue violet, and maybe a black. So at least have red, purple, and black, maybe a little bit of a red orange. And what you want to do first is to start putting down a base layer of color. So I'm just going to do a small part of it here. And I'm just going to kind of angle my pencil a little bit. I just want to kind of lightly put it down. So where there's shadows, like underneath the wing, it might be a little bit darker. So there's a couple ways you can accomplish this. You can press harder with your colored pencil, which can give you a brighter color, or you can overlap it with another color, which I'm going to do actually both. So I'm just going to get my base color down first. Now, color pencils always look better when you overlap them with another color. So I'm just going to take my red orange and just kind of go over it. This does two things. You get a variety of color, and plus it will continue to fill up some of the white areas of your paper. I'm not pressing so hard that it fills up the tooth of my paper. Alright, so now I'm going to come back again with my regular red and press a little bit harder. It's going to start to fill up the paper's tooth. Now directly underneath the wing, it's going to create a shadow. I'm going to start by taking the violet and overlap my blue slightly. I don't want to press so hard that you get a purple color, but you can always overlap it again with the red. So just kind of work on overlapping your colors. Now if you have other colors like a red violet, you can use that as well, like a raspberry color. So this color is called mulberry. It's somewhere in between. You might have a red violet or raspberry, depending on what colored pencil set that you have. I'm currently using Prismacolors. I really like Prismacolors. They're really soft and they blend well. Crayola is also a really good brand, so if you have Crayolas, they're just fine. Alright. So anywhere else you think there might be a shadow, it might be darker on the underside as well. The cardinal, it's not as much light is getting there. So I'm going to take my mulberry, get a little bit of a red violet, and then you can go over it a little bit with the violet just to get a little bit deeper red color. And we're doing the wings, or the feathers rather. You're going to do each feather almost like its own. So right where the feather is, I'm just going to kind of do a few feathers. It's a real base light layer. So like right in the corner it's going to be the darkest because the previous feather is overlapping it. This is where having a sharp pencil really helps. So I took a moment and sharpened my pencil. You can see the tip is going to let you get in there a little bit better. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of work my way out, leaving the edges a little bit lighter. Alright, then I'm going to go in with my red violet, kind of get it a little bit more in the corners. And then finally I'll take my violet and get those shadows in. So right in the corner, it's gonna be the darkest. And just keep on repeating for your next layer. So I'm going to put down another layer. This is the poppy red. It's kind of like a red-orange. So I'll do my next layer. Just keeping it real light to start with. And I'll come back again in the corners. And you can press pretty hard. So I'm going to get a real bright color. You don't want your cardinal looking washed out. And then I'll darken up the undersides. So really thinking about how overlapping would work and how what things would be affected with your shadows when they're overlapped. Alright, I'm gonna put this into time lapse and just kind of work on coloring the main part of the feathers. Alright, so at this point I have my cardinal pretty well colored in, just making sure I have different values, like to darken, kind of blended some colors. If you want to color some of the other objects you have drawn in your picture, you can color everything except for the branches and the sky. So if you drew birdhouses or other cardinals or a nest, if you're going to have some leaves, you might even blend color using lights and darks. And we usually get the edges kind of darker. I'll take like another green and overlap it. This yellowish green color. After you have your objects colored in, that would be it for this step. The next step would be to start to add your crayon to your branches to make your scratch board. So you would want to watch the next video. So looking forward to seeing your cardinals. Great job.